Many guys ask, how can I gain more confidence? They're looking to be more confident, but often they don't know how. You see, gaining confidence is something every man can do, but it doesn't start with having six-pack abs or big biceps. It starts in our minds. Let's jump in. Hey guys, I'm David Maxwell, men's coach. Confidence was something I lacked as a child. I really did. I just couldn't really figure out who I was, what I was all about. Now, there were a lot of reasons for it, but I was incredibly insecure. And it affected every area of my life. How I had relationships or didn't have relationships, how I played sports or how I didn't play sports as well as I could have, and my own expectations of life. It wasn't until I was almost 30 years old that I began to recognize my own insecurities and actually begin to deal with them. Confidence is all about what goes on in our minds as men. It's about our mindset. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the illustration of flying a plane to help us understand what we can do as men to gain confidence in our minds. The first thing we're going to look at is solo flying. Now, if you want to fly a plane, the thing you want to do is learn how to fly it by yourself. And as a man, you have to know who you are apart from others. You see, a lot of guys are living for outside things. They don't really know who they are. They're living for money. They're living for approval from other people. They're living to reach great achievements or have all the sex they want or live for pleasure or just live for retirement. And what you have to do as a man is you have to get down to your core. You've got to figure out your purpose. The second area we want to look at is piloting the plane. If you're going to fly a plane, eventually you want to take other people with you. You want to pilot other people. And the same thing is true with your purpose. Your purpose has to involve others. You see, confidence comes to men when they're living for something bigger than themselves. Self-focused men, they're just big kids. They don't have a purpose greater than themselves, and they're always looking within. I had a friend in high school who just a few years ago moved back into town, and he made a post and he said this. He goes, "Hey, I'm back in town. Where are all the ladies at?" And I was like, "Dude, you're 50," because he's the same age I was. And I said, "What are you doing? Where are the ladies at? What are you, 17 again?" But what was happening was in his life, he was very self-focused. He didn't have a purpose outside of himself, and he wasn't thinking of others. Don't be like that as a man. Find a purpose that's bigger than you, and you'll find your own confidence. The third area we want to look at is destination. If you're flying a plane, you need to know where you're going. If you just take off and fly till whenever, you'll stop eventually. Either you'll land on purpose or your plane will run out of gas, and that's not good. And as a man, what you have to do is pick a direction for your life. When you do that, you'll find confidence because you know where you're going. And what you want to do is not be afraid to say, "I'm going this direction." Now, some guys are scared of that. They're scared because they think, what if I pick wrong? What if I go the wrong way? Well, the easy part of that is if you start seeing you're moving in the wrong direction, you can move. It's easier to move your life when you're going in a direction than if you're just sitting and waiting for everything to be perfect. Everything's never going to be perfect, and you need to pick a direction in your life. If you're flying a plane and you recognize that you're off a few degrees, you just shift back and you can adjust and get back into your direction. And that's what you want to do as a man. Pick a destination, know where you're going, and you'll have confidence in your life. For more help on your journey as a man, if you want to keep growing, then I recommend you checking out my podcast, the Confident Man Podcast. On it, we cover all kinds of topics that are geared to help you grow as a man. There's a lot of areas in your life you want to grow in. The Confident Man Podcast will help you do that. Now, it's on all major platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, Pandora, so you can find it and you can listen to it today. Now, for me, guys, I started my growth journey late as a man. I didn't start till I was about 30, and I felt like I was always playing catch up. But I kept pushing, I kept trying, I kept trying to give my all. And the great part about it is my kids didn't start as late as me. You see, I was able to pour into them, and now my son is happily married, and my daughter just left to go teach English in South Korea. They're both doing fantastic. Now, they're not perfect because none of us is perfect, but the deal is they're way far ahead of where I was at that age. They're not dealing with the insecurity and the lack of confidence that I was. And you see, guys, you can do that for your future generations. When you make a change as a man, it affects your kids, it affects those you influence. And let me tell you, it's worth it, men. Your hard work will pay off in those future generations. And I believe you'll have more confidence in your life and they'll live a better life too. So go live your adventure.